time for the Noah Radio Show!
Hi kids, my name is Noah. Thanks for tuning in to the Noah Show and welcome. Hey, who of us would not like to see the future? You know, what would school be like when you go back to school, and what is it going to be like in a year or two? Wow, what's it going to even be like when you're an adult? Well, we may not know what the future is, but what we do know is what is in the past. It's called history. And, oh, you know what? That reminds me of a story I want to tell you. Happened to me a long time ago. And it's about how God used me. You know, I've always been a simple man. My family and I have done simple things, and we've always enjoyed a great relationship with God and doing what God has asked us to do. But imagine my surprise one day when God spoke to me right out of the blue, like a bolt from the blue. God spoke to me like ka-chunga. It's kind of scary at first. I thought I was getting a little bit Looney Tunes myself. But then God told me what he wanted me to do. Yikes! God said, Noah, build an ark. Right, God. What's an ark? Like a boat, Noah. And build it 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide. And build it like 30 cubits high and decks in the ark. It's going to be really cool. Right. What's a cubit? Well, the rest they say, as it turns out, folks, things were tough in Noah's days. There were a lot of people doing really bad stuff. They had been sinning, doing bad things, and they turned away from God, and we were really pretty terrible people. God was tired of it. He was done. God said, I'll bring a flood. It will rain for 40 days all day and 40 nights all night. And everything will be covered with water, and all the bad people and things will die. I will clean up the earth. Whoa, yikes. But then God made a promise. God would save Noah and his family and all the animals on the earth. And God made one further promise. He would never cover the earth or flood the earth again with water. God keeps his promises. Kids, can you repeat after me? God keeps his promises. And Jesus leads the way. Can you repeat after me again? Jesus leads the way. Wow, what a relief that God will save us. So, I began to build the ark and collect animals too of every kind, a male and a female of every kind. Really a pretty big job getting all that together and building the ark. It took a long time. Well, you can imagine what all that was like. But you know, I suppose you were wondering what kind of animal you would like to have on the ark. Maybe one of your pets. Yeah, of course you would like to have your pets along. But finally the ark was completed and all the animals were loaded on the ark. Then guess what happened? Yep, began to rain. And rain. 40 days all day, 40 nights all night, nothing but rain. So soon the entire earth was covered with water, no land in sight. Hard to imagine, no treetops, no tall buildings were seen. But at last, one day the rain stopped. Still, no dry news could be seen. The good news is that God knew where they were and where they would come down, and God was in charge. Then Noah sent out one of the doves to search for dry land. Rats, no dry land, anywhere. So the dove landed and came back. 7 days later, Noah sent out the dove again. And good news, yay, the dove came back and he had an olive branch in his mouth. Everyone was so happy. They cheered like mad. Dry land the earth once again was drying up, and they were finally able to get off the ark. Noah's family helped all the animals get off the ark, and you never heard such a crazy noise. The animals and the birds, the creepy crawlers were all singing like mad, happy to get off the ark. Wouldn't you be glad? First thing Noah did after all the flood was to build an altar to the Lord so they could worship and thank God. And once again, God promised never again to cover the earth with water. Then the coolest thing ever happened. God sent a rainbow, a big honking ginormous rainbow that just lit up the sky. It was so cool, it was beautiful. And now every time we see a rainbow, we can remember that God keeps his promises. God keeps his promises. When it looked like the sun would never shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the sky. So what can we learn from this story? Even when things are looking pretty bleak, pretty tough sometimes, when we might have made bad decisions and sinned and we're just kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired, God is with us. God is with us. And while we may not know what the future holds, we do know that God holds the future. And God is with us. God is faithful. We simply have to ask for forgiveness, and God will forgive us. What will you do when you're afraid? Will you ask God for forgiveness? Will you be pleased and relieved after all that is done? I hope so. It's been great visiting with you all. I hope you'll come back again. And peace and love from the Noah Radio Show. Good day.